Hello everybody. Thank you so much for subscribing to my new channel. I am so excited. Yay! Listen, this is my first actual video and I want to talk to, prospective real estate agents. Why perspective? Because you're still probably in school, real estate school, you're still probably taking your courses, and also you are preparing to take your test. So no matter where you are in the United States of America, I want to tell you my experience in taking the test and give you some quick tips that may benefit you when it's time for you to take the test. All right, let's get into it. All right, so let's talk about the real estate exam. Okay, so number one, the first thing I need you to understand, if you're watching this video and you are nervous about the real estate exam, is it's okay. It's okay to be nervous. You know, you've never took the exam before. It's okay to have butterflies. This is something you've never done before, and you're moving towards your new career. So I have some tips that I think will be helpful to individuals preparing to take the exam. Um, these are things that I had to reflect back on my experience, just as it pertains to my preparation and just what the feedback that I have for individuals who are preparing to take the exam. Okay, so just put a disclaimer out here. I just want to let you know that I had to take my national exam 3 times before I passed. My state exam, I passed with flying colors the first time. So yeah, we're about to get into it, okay? So tip number one, when it comes to your preparing for the real estate exam, I need you to make sure that you prepare yourself as much as possible. What does that mean for you? It means making sure that you are super intentional about your everyday study habits. Making sure that even though you probably got to get up and walk the dog, you probably have to take a shower, or hopefully you do. you go to work. If you have kids, I don't know your lifestyle. All I know is that preparation for this particular exam every single day leading up to the exam is key, literally. So what does that mean in real world? It means, carving out maybe your lunch break to study for the exam. Maybe going to your car on your lunch break, timing yourself and studying your vocabulary, or studying, the content that you believe is going to be on the exam, or 2 hours, after you get off work. You just literally need to make sure that you are steering yourself towards success. No one's going to do it for you. You literally have to get up and be intentional about making sure that you prepare for the exam. So that's tip number one, is preparation is key. Hey, all right. Tip number two. All right, tip number two is, first of all, you have to understand that this exam is heavy on vocabulary. Okay, so vocabulary is your friend. Like, no matter what, you have so many questions with this exam, and you have different sections in the exam. And if you do not understand content and how it applies to the questions that they ask, because there are some questions on the exam that can be very tricky, and so you literally have to know buzzwords and how they apply to situations. So knowing your vocabulary is major key. So some of the things that I would suggest you do is maybe buy index cards, write down the vocabulary word and the meaning, flashcards. One particular resource that really helped me was a guy named Joe from Prep Agent. Prep Agent, and it's going to be in the link in the description below. Prep Agent, I believe there's a small fee. I think it was like $30 or something for like 1 month. But this particular website, no matter what state you live in, they prepare you for the national part of the exam. They have practice quizzes, practice vocabulary, flashcards. I mean, it's amazing. So, I mean, I really, really highly suggest that you go to Prep Agent and you check out their website and use that as a resource tool, as a supplemental tool to what you already use to study, okay? So yeah, know your vocabulary is tip number 2. All right. Whew, let's breathe, y'all. Now, you studied your vocabulary, you've carved out time to, like, even when I was going to the gym, okay, I would put in my ear pods and I would listen to Prep Joe Agent, and I would listen to the vocabulary. Even when I was driving, like, Joe was with me. Joe was chilling with me in the car, giving me those vocabulary words. You know, instead of listening to music, I was listening to real estate vocabulary, okay? So that's what I'm talking about when it comes to being intentional about your particular success. All right, so now you have prepared yourself the best you can. You have studied with the vocabulary. Now you are ready to go take the exam. Tip number 3, okay? Tip number 3, when you go online to choose a site location for your exam, location is everything. Just like in real estate, location is key. Your testing center, your testing location can make or break, in my opinion, the outcome of your success or not being successful. For me, I'm in Chicago. I'm in the suburbs of Chicago, Illinois. My first 2 times taking the exam required me, it was snowing the first time. It was snowing crazy, and I had to get on a train. I had to get in a cab, and finally when I got in the cab, I finally got to the location. I had to wait 2 hours, and I ate a deep dish pizza. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. I had a deep dish slice of pizza in Chicago, and I had some chips, and I'm like, that's probably why I didn't pass the national part. But you want to keep your mind sharp. And you just want to absolutely get enough sleep before the night of the exam, at least 8 hours, a good rest. And you want to make sure that, because the reason why I say location is key is because in a city, it's busy and you're already nervous, right? So for me personally, I was already nervous. When I went into the exam location, it was a lot of people there. And this exam location, it was really hot, you know, temperature wise. And, you know, it's like I think it was like 2.5 hours, and you know, I was just nervous, guys, and the atmosphere was just different. So I passed my state exam, but I didn't pass the national exam. Now, mind you, again, our life is different. Your life is different than mine. You know, I have so many other things going on. And 2019 for me, guys, was a crazy year. So I literally was towards the latter part, towards the end in December, taking my exam. And so when I didn't pass the national part, you know, here's another thing. You have to either look at the glass half empty or half full. I made a decision to look at it as, you know what, I'm not a failure. It was a failed attempt. And a lot of people, they give up. They say, you know what, man, I didn't pass. I'm a failure. You get kind of depressed. And no, you failed at the first attempt of doing something you've never done before. That doesn't mean you're a failure. It means you're great. It means that you just have to try again and try again until you make that thing happen for yourself. And you have to believe before anyone else believes in you. You got to believe in you, okay? So that's what I was coaching myself, guys. I was listen, girl, you got this, okay? So the second time, here's a 4th tip. So environment is the 3rd tip. The 4th one is, do not rush your process. You're going to hear a lot of some instructors, a lot of people will say, well, hurry up and take the test right when it's fresh. Hurry, hurry, hurry. No, you take the test when you're ready to take the test. Don't let anybody, I don't care who they are, okay? This is your career. You take that test when you know you're ready. Okay, and a part of my issue with the second attempt to take the national part is that I immediately came home, I immediately signed up, and the next week I was taking the national part, and I wasn't even really prepared like that, and I failed it again. Now, at the second attempt, when I failed the national part again, I could have said to myself, you know what, Michelle, just forget it. You just go ahead and keep on doing what you're doing. But I said, you know what? I'm going to end this year successful. And when I launch into 2020, it's on. If you don't speak life to yourself, I don't know who I'm talking to, but listen, if you don't speak life to yourself, I don't care how many times you fail, you will not survive. And so the third time I said, you know what? I'm not taking my exam in Chicago. I'm going to choose another location, which is not in the city. And it was perfect for me. It was quiet. It was like I could hear the birds chirping. And it was just myself and 3 other people. And I was like, woosah, ooh. And I took my time. When you're sitting there, guys, and you're taking your test, take your time. Do not allow the distractions or the temptations of other people getting up before you to make you think that, oh my goodness, I must not be smart. I must be, slow, etc. No, they can finish quick and be wrong. You understand? So take your time when you're sitting there. And make sure that, before you start taking the exam, grab the piece of paper that they give you, the pencil, create like columns, and the columns should be like, these are answers that I'm for sure are right, and these are question mark answers, and these are answers that I know are not. I don't even know the answers to these questions. Okay, so you will, as you go through the test, you'll begin to write down the numbers of each questions, and you'll be able to go back and review. Do not finish your test without reviewing your answers. Please listen to me, because as you go throughout the test, you're going to figure out on maybe question 50, it's going to start registering some things that they asked you in question number 25 that you need to go back and rehearse. So you want to make sure that before you get up and you click finish, you have reviewed every question. And that don't spend too much time on questions at a single time. Okay, so it's only, you can get 25 questions wrong. And you want to make sure you strategize accordingly, okay? And when it's all said and done, listen, you did your best. You did your best. And so I need you to understand that while some of you watching my video right now of my testing experience with the real estate exam, you may have failed just like me the first time, the second time. I know some people failed all 4 times. In Illinois, you could take the test 4 times. I don't know what your state rules are, but it matters not. At the last hour, if you don't give up, you're going to pass the exam. You're going to join an awesome broker. And that's my next video, choosing your broker. And you're going to soar in your business. Listen, at the end of the day, you chose this profession. Why did you choose it? Only you can answer that. Until next time, join me for another video. Hey, click subscribe, like, comment. I want to engage with my audience. Comment on this video. Ask me any question you want to ask me pertaining to this video. I'll do my best to respond back to you expeditiously. And again, my name is Dr. Michelle Vaughn, aka your real estate doctor, making sure your purchase has a pulse. Until next time, people. Peace. See, I'm gonna get on the train. I have to find my parking number so I can pay for my parking. But I'm gonna take the real estate exam, and I need to know what number is this. So I'm in Chicago. It's snowing. See, it's snowing in Chicago. But I'm here. I have about 2 hours before the actual exam, and I'm gonna hop in a cab and head to Michigan Avenue, do what I gotta do. Okay.